thanking you, Professor Yang, and all of you for having me here today, but more than that, because it's a special occasion, it's not just any talk. I really wanted to congratulate you on the opening of this center and to congratulate Purdue. We were talking earlier about this, and I don't think there is a comparable center anywhere in North America right now, and it's a time when we really need something like this, partly for reasons I'll talk about today, in fact, but as China is more and more a crucial topic for all of us, and as religion is more and more a crucial topic in world affairs right now, the confluence of the two is an area where we are surprisingly ignorant, disturbingly ignorant, really, and so I think there's a very important niche being filled here today. I also don't know if it was clear to everyone just how much of a contribution Professor Yang has made in China. So his academic achievements here that someone like I read should have been mentioned, but in China he has single-handedly been trying to create a sociology of religion that really is a social scientific approach to religion out of a situation where you couldn't really do that 20 years ago, say. So as this field is building, he has spent enormous amounts of time and enormous amounts of energy in really building an intellectual infrastructure that will allow these topics to be pursued further in China. And so I really want to congratulate him on that and congratulate all of you on this center. And so before I go on with my own little thing here, I thought one ceremonial, I wrote the book on ritual after all, one ceremonial round of applause here for Fanggang and for Purdue. All right, my topic. So as was mentioned, my current research has to do with the relationship really between religion and philanthropy in Chinese societies. And there's several reasons that I got interested in this. It's not a particularly obvious topic. One reaction might be, well, there's no relation. We know there's no relation. There never has been a relation. That is, if you look at 19th or 18th century China, there are philanthropic groups, but none of them are run by organized religions except for a small amount of what missionaries are doing. If you look more recently, well, there's even less. So let me tell you both, there's theoretical reasons I got interested in this and just empirical reasons I got interested in this. Theoretically, one of the literatures that I've been looking at is the social capital one, or in the current incarnation for people working on religion, spiritual capital. Templeton Foundation, which is funding, I think, this, it has been promoting spiritual capital as a kind of new analytic term, but it's the same basic idea as social capital, but applied to religion. That is, what are the resources we have as a local community that help build us and allow us to take care of ourselves better? The most famous work here is probably Robert Putnam, who wrote a book on Italy, comparing northern Italy and southern Italy, where he argued that northern Italy has a lot of social capital, a lot of relations of horizontal trust, and therefore, in the long run, becomes a more democratic and a more economically successful place than southern Italy, which depends on vertical patron-client kinds of ties. So that's the source in the literature. So the implication there is that social capital should help create these kinds of broader social benefits. And since religion in Chinese societies, religion, particularly local temple-based religion, I'm not naming it because there's not really a name for this. In fact, its name isn't really even religion, which is a 20th century term in China. It's just what people did. Local temples are not really organized into larger institutional structures. No priesthood, that is, you'd hire a Buddhist or a Taoist priest if you needed a ritual, but the temples themselves had no priesthood. Congregations relatively disorganized. That's the base area, but it's very closely tied to local social capital. So what are the side benefits of this? That was one kind of question. The second one, any of us who've lived in this country the last few years, we've been filled with arguments about faith-based initiatives, which is exactly an argument over what should religion's role be in delivering broader public services. Or rather, maybe it's the opposite. It's what should the state's role be in delivering public services? And if the answer is not so much, then we look to religion. This overlaps with the social capital literature. That is, why would we look to religion? Because it has a lot of social capital embedded in it. But I think a more underlying argument here that's different from the social capital one is about the relationship between state and society. Who should really be delivering social goods? Is it the state or the society? Or is it the state and society together? So the American view tends to be state and society seen as almost antagonistic of a relationship. That's not necessarily so. At any rate, that's something that was on my mind as I did this. And the third thing is the empirical thing. And to be honest, it's actually the first thing for me. Nearly everything I've done is when I go to China or I go to Taiwan, because something strikes me as empirically puzzling. So here's the puzzle in this case. My first extended field research was in Taiwan in the late 1970s. Taiwan, because that was before Americans could go to the People's Republic, or certainly could go to do research in the People's Republic. And at that time, I worked on religion, and religion had no relationship to broader kinds of social welfare issues. None. I worked in a township of population, several tens of thousands. I went to every single temple that had any human being you could interview, so in fact I went to most of the other temples too, but you can't interview anybody when it's just a little shrine this tall.